Shalom. Want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to the brothers that's teaching this truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect, and the 1/3, and the sincere listeners. All right, Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai being the name of his Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This gospel, this truth, the kingdom of heaven, salvation, is for the Israelites and the Israelites only, who are your so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and the ones scattered abroad that may look like the other nations, but your spirit resonates with this truth. The kingdom of heaven, the salvation is for you. All right. This video is going to be about Bill C-9, and pretty much I wanted to do some clarification on certain things. I was actually going to use the AI, and then I'm going to go into the actual website just to see what Esau is saying, his wording and stuff like that. And then I'm going to bring out a few scriptures just to back up everything. But Bill, from what we know as of right now, and I'm going to read it, but Bill C-9 is like a law that they're trying to pass in regards to like hate speech and stuff like that. And it is going to remove our religious protections of the Bible if we have a certain opinion on something that goes against this quote unquote status quo. The Bible, the laws in place no longer protect us from having that opinion anymore. All right. So basically that means the famine of the word is coming soon. All right. Because I don't know how much longer brothers in Canada will be teaching. We'll have to figure that out. But that's for brothers to, whatever. When the time comes, it comes. But pretty much we're not going to be on the byways any much longer. All right. So I asked the AI on Google Chrome, so what is Bill C-9 and has it passed and become law? Right. So Bill C-9, known as the Combating Hate Act, is a Canadian federal bill. It's a Canadian federal bill that amends the criminal code. So I'm assuming that means it makes changes, okay, to strengthen hate crime laws and protect access to religious and cultural community spaces. It has officially passed both the House of Commons and the Senate as of June 26. Okay, while it has cleared its parliamentary voting hurdles, it requires one final procedural step. And that's what I kind of want to clear up, because there is a lot of what do you say, embellishing going on. That's, for lack of a better word, there's a lot of embellishing going on on social media. A lot of people are bringing this to people's attention and not giving the proper how do you say it? They're not doing the due diligence to see how far it has passed. So like they'll say, oh, Bill C-9 has passed, but passed what? Did it pass the final say? No, they're not even going into all these details. So I just wanted to clear up all this confusion, because technically we're allowed to teach how we teach right now because we're protected, but we are currently right now protected by the current laws. Okay, and until they make them changes with the Governor General, the last final procedural step, right, then we are protected, right? But once if the Government General signs it and agrees with it, then we're no longer protected. Okay, so if that's the case, we're more than most likely we won't be on the highways teaching. Okay, and who knows if we can even do videos, we shall see, right? But we shall see. So it says royal assent from the, but we're in the, it's prophecy, and we're in the famine of the word. Okay, so that's just what it is. It's prophecy, and we're in the famine of the word right now. Okay, royal assent from the governor general before it officially becomes law, a step expected to occur within weeks. Okay, once signed, it is scheduled to become into effect if it's signed 30 days later. So we have like a whole month to see where this plays out. All right. So this thing is moving fast. You understand? This thing is moving very fast. Okay, it says, what is Bill C-9? Introduced by the federal government, the legislation targets hate-motivated crimes and public intimidation. It primarily amends Canada's criminal code in 4 ways. New intimidation offense. It criminalizes acts intended to provoke fear or obstruct people from entering buildings used by identifiable groups. Okay, and we don't do this, right? But when they see Jake on this, wherever we are in the highways and byways teaching, right? People see fear. People can feel fear. They can say, I feel fear. Like, who are these guys? What are they doing? They see us in our garments, right? You know they don't like to see a whole bunch of niggas, quote unquote. We're not niggas, you know that. So I'm not calling brothers niggas, all right? So Salakia, but in their mind, right? In the mind of the Matrix, in the strong deluded mind that, that the Most High got them on, they don't want to see they don't want to see Jake niggas congregating, so to speak, in bulk, in bunch. It intimidates them. That could provoke fear. That puts fear in their hearts, right? And we're just teaching the word. We're we're not engaging the public like that. If the public wants to ask a question, they can. But we're not. But Esau's a bitch, right? Edomites are bitches. So I feel threatened for my life, right? They can say that, right? But we don't obstruct people from entering buildings or anything like that. So that has nothing to do with us. This includes places of worship, cultural community centers, schools, daycare, senior residences, and cemeteries. And we don't go to none of those places. All right, IUIC, you idiots, you guys go to churches and stuff like that to try and intimidate and go back and forth and debate. You guys cause strife and do weird stuff. You're not supposed to do that. Anyways, it says standalone hate crime. It establishes a more explicit standalone criminal offense for hate-motivated crimes and codifies a legal definition for hatred. Okay? Public hate symbols ban. It makes it illegal to willfully promote hatred by publicly displaying specific hate or terrorist symbols. This includes Nazi swastikas, nooses. Okay, so Esau's a devil, but we're gonna put this law to the test if that's the case, because kind of, you don't really see nooses like that, but Jake has a kind of a leg to stand on now too. If this bill quote unquote comes to pass, Jake can enact Bill C-9 if they feel things are racist, or so to speak, and they can press charges, so to speak, based off of this. I'm just saying, to hell with the bill to begin with, but I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. We're judges, we're seeing, but Esau's still a devil. Nooses and flags of banned terrorist organizations like Hamas or Hezbollah. Okay. It says removal of religious defense. Okay, this is the main thing. We are no longer going to be protected by, it's going to say the bill controversially removes the good faith religious expression defense. And that's exactly what we're protected by. Okay, it says under section 319 Code 2, whatever, of the Criminal Code. Previously, this safeguarded individuals, the Israelites, us, from hate speech convictions if they were arguing an opinion on a religious subject in good faith, backed by the scriptures, right? And that's exactly what we do. We argue in good faith by the scriptures. Okay. It says current legislative status. Legislative path of Bill C-9 concluded its parliamentary voting phase in early June 2026. Okay. House of Commons, it passed its final third reading vote on March 25th, 2026. Senate passed its final third reading stage on June 4th, 2026, according to updates from the Canadian Constitution Foundation. The Senate approved the bill after rejecting a committee proposal to criminalize residential school denialism. So they're adding in Gad for this as well. You know, Esau, he's a serpent, you know, trying to make it seem like he cares for Gad. He doesn't give a fuck. It did, however, accept an amendment to add the noose to the public hate symbol list. Okay. Becoming law. Because the Senate added a minor amendment, the bill returns to the House of Commons for a final rubber stamp confirmation vote, which the government has agreed to support. Legal updates from the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities note that following this final step, it will head to the Governor General for royal assent. Public debate and criticism. Bill C-9 has sparked significant national conversation, drawing pushback from civil liberties organizations and faith-based groups. And we're not pushing against this. You know, we understand this is prophecy, right? We already know the devil was going to do something to get us off the highways and byways, right? We know that's part of the prophecy. We're not going to be on the highways forever. You know what I'm saying? That's not, you know, we're not going to be on the highways and byways forever, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, what was I going to say? The point was, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, so yeah, you people are getting mad and all that stuff, and we're just taking it as, you know, this is the devil and he's doing what he has to do. Free speech concerns. Critics warn the bill expand state and police discretionary powers, which could inadvertently chill ordinary public debate and peaceful protests. So you really can't say nothing against nobody anymore. Okay? You really, you know, hate speech, you know, Edomites, the so-called white man, this, that, going into captivity. You can't say, you know, all this stuff, it's going to be over with, you know? Religious freedom. Advocacy groups argue that removing the good faith religious defense leaves religious leaders vulnerable to hate speech allegations for simply referencing traditional scriptural texts. All right? And we can get that real quick because I've been going on a bit, but you know, Isaiah 29:21. I'll start at 20. I'll start at 21. So that make an offender for a word and lay a snare for him that reprove in the gate. And that's the snare. Bill C-9 is a snare. Because we're the ones reproving at the gate, correcting not only ourselves, but our people, the Israelites. Okay? And said, and turn aside the just for a thing of not. And I was in KJV. I'm going to get an NLT. Those who convict the innocent by their false testimony will disappear. A similar fate awaits those who use trickery to pervert justice. Right. You know, and that's how you know the Most High is the Most High, bro, because the Most High never made no amends to the law. The law is the law. And if he wanted to, he can. And the only amendment that he did make was the law on sacrifice. All right, for the law on sacrifice for sin. That's the only amendment he made. Okay, if correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, but other than that, the law itself remains. You get what I'm trying to say? The law on adultery, um, the law on land ownership, whatever. The law on inheritance, and when you work for somebody for 6 or 7 years, right? These laws stay the same. The land Sabbath. These laws are forever. You understand? The laws on how to conduct yourself and operate on the earth that the Most High set up, that has never been amended, right? That hasn't been amended. Okay, but Esau, he's always changing shit. You go to one country, the law is this. The other another country, the law is that. And on this earth, it's only going to be one law, and it's going to be the law of the Bible. You understand? But that's how you know we're dealing with a devil. He changes. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Those who convict the innocent by their false testimony will disappear. A similar fate awaits those who use trickery to pervert justice and who tell lies to destroy the innocent. Okay? And yeah, man, we're not dealing with somebody that's genuine and sincere and in good faith. This devil wants us out of here. You understand? Because his arguments are going to be petty. We're going to be lied upon, demonized, right? And so, once you know that's happening, it's just best to just keep your mouth shut. Just keep quiet and wait for the Spirit of the Lord to tell you what to say. You know what I'm saying? Because, we know the truth. We have the truth. This is the truth. You understand? It says legal threshold. Says proponents point out that the final version of the bill preserves strict legal definitions, meaning speech must reach the level of extreme vilification or detestation to warrant a hate crime charge. But it's so vague. How the hell would you even know what's considered hate or not? Somebody can just say, "Oh, you said something. Oh, I hate you." That's hate. Oh, I hate you. Like, you get an argument with your woman and she tells you, "I hate you." Are you gonna press charges on your woman now because she just said a hate speech? Or if you say to your woman, "I hate you," and she press charges on you now, you're trying to say how do we where do we draw the line when it comes to this? But that's so Esau's so vague with his laws and stuff like that. It's like, get out of here, buddy. Get the hell out of here. And pretty much Esau, he wants wickedness to ensue and you not to call it out. And that's why we need Yahweh Shai, man. We need salvation. We need redeeming. We need to be bought back. We need the kingdom. We need righteous. We're a new world wherein dwelleth righteousness. You know what I'm saying? I might do a part 2 after. Well, then might just do a part 2 to this, but I'm just gonna get a couple scriptures and finish it up. Ezekiel 3:26, and it says, "And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house." And this is how the Lord's doing it too. He's using Esau to bring forth laws, so we're not on the highways and byways anymore. So we gotta understand, this is ultimately the Lord's movie, right? This is the Lord's plans. Esau's not in control. He's only doing what the Lord allows him to, which is part of the plan, anyways. Okay, was getting caught part of your plan? Well, of course, right? That's in Batman with Bane. Okay. It says, "But when I speak with thee, I will open thy mouth, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God Yahweh, he that heareth, let him hear, and he that forbeareth, let him forbear, for they are a rebellious house." Okay, and I'm going to just finish it off with this, Amos 8:11. So behold, days, a prophecy, right? This is a prophecy that's coming to pass. Behold, I mean, now we're seeing how it's coming to pass, right? Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh. Okay, and yeah, that's what's coming, man. The famine of the word. You're not no longer gonna see the prophets on the highways and byways. Okay, and we look forward to that time too, because we know our salvation is near. So Esau, do what you gotta do, man. It is what it is. And yeah, Lord will you're edified. I'm gonna say shalom to the next one.